Welcome to Degen Damage, those new or old to this particular shit show. I, Sheep, welcome you in as a fellow Degen and, as Mity puts it, the man behind the curtains. Mity and the gang usually dive into various topics ranging from the MCU verse to mental health to random rants and shit. The live podcast takes place on Twitch, then hitting YouTube and the other podcast sites soon after. Now, let's get this shit show on the roll. Original air date, April 13th, 2022.
Yeah. That should
Well,
make a sound check right there.
I would say, do I sound loud? I'm going through the first video we made, and me and Kelby sound fucking loud.
Because you guys are fucking loud.
Kelby is not loud. What are you talking about?
It says the Screaming Master?
Yeah, so I would know a thing or two about being loud, okay? Alright, we've got all the notices dropped.
Yeah. Shit.
1 second. My dad just got home, but we can start. Y'all can go ahead and start. I'll be right back.
You'll never find.
Dad's leaving. He's never coming back.
I'm about to say he's getting his teddy harness on.
Getting ready for me, baby.
Okay, I don't sound loud. That's good.
Am I coming through clear? Can I be heard? Am I being heard?
Okay, I'm back.
I can hear you. Yeah, it's coming out good.
Alright, heard.
Am I loud? 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, 3, 2, 1.
Peter Piper
4,
picked a
5
pack of
apple.
pickled peppers. How many pack of pickled peppers did Peter Piper pick?
78.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, you sound good too.
Alright, hey Gio, how you doing? Okay, here we go, guys. Today...
Oh, I guess I can pull up the stream too.
Let me just fucking put this on the right screen here.
I can do it from here.
Why does it look so... Give me 1 second. Everything looks so amber.
Oh. Mini messing with the sepia filter.
Say no, he acquired the new skill of life. I don't know. Oh.
All right, that looks better. Everybody here?
Yeah.
Yuppers.
All right, so before we start the podcast, we're just going to do a recap of episode 1 real quick before we jump into episodes 2 and 3. Again, guys, these will be getting put up onto the YouTube channel, so please make sure to keep an eye out for that. Make sure to like it and leave comments, please. Because I am gonna make a small effort into trying to get the YouTube channel up off the ground.
We're gonna try our best.
So, and with that, all right, Ollie, you weren't here for episode 1, so throw me your thoughts on episode 1.
I thoroughly enjoyed the first episode. I thought it was pretty great. It was a little weird, but I could see why they didn't start with Mark the way they did. Because if they had started with Mark, they would have immediately been thrown into the whole argument. Oh, hey, this is just Marvel's Batman. They would have been comparing him to Batman, which they did not want to do. So I could see why they started with Steven. And I could also see why they didn't make Steven the multi-billion-dollar genius that he was. Because whilst they did keep the brains of Steven, Steven is a glorified genius. They didn't make him a billionaire because they didn't want him to overshadow Tony Stark.
Which makes no sense to me because there's tons of billionaires in Marvel.
Yes, I know. But with the death of Tony Stark being still fairly recent, I could see why they didn't want to overshadow it.
I mean, read fucking Richards alone.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they still haven't introduced the Fantastic Four, so...
Yeah, exactly.
But like, how they're gonna prep for that? Because in the comics, like Tony's basically broke compared to Reed Richards.
I mean, very true.
I mean, he did make that multiverse portal thing, so
Mhm.
Right.
which ended up we getting the zombies first encounter. So
Is that all you got for episode 1?
I mean, yeah, pretty much.
All right, well, let's fucking dive into episode 2. Episode 2 is fucking crazy. I
Yes.
want to start with Sheep, work to you, and then we'll come to me. All right.
okay, simply put, I mean, he goes into it kind of haphazard, like, oh, I broke everything, but it shows me, but not me. Finds up the hidden supplies of Mark, and what is it? Encountering Layla, encountering Arthur, fuck it, and then at the end, it's just him traveling to Cairo. Simply put enough. I'm not gonna lie. For a bit, I've watched it several times already. I don't know. Every time it seems to get even longer. I watch it. I enjoyed certain parts, and I'll get to you on that, Mitty.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, it wasn't too bad. But the story does seem to drag just a little bit on my end.
They've got a lot to set up.
Yes, they do. And
Yeah,
they're
but
still
saying
doing
it's
this
only
without a solid set backstory for him as well.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and then that too. There's only 6 episodes.
Yeah, there's only 6 episodes, and we still don't know the complete backstory for Moon Knight.
So
Those of us who have read the comics understand it, but still don't know what they're going to do with it.
here's the deal. All right. It's gonna be the same as with every fucking Marvel TV series. All right. The first 4 episodes are gonna be drawn out. What show are we talking about, Cross? We are talking about Marvel's Moon Knight. Is what we were talking about. I should have had the spoiler warning put up on this just in case. Oh well. Oh well. But the first 4 episodes are build up, backstory, and getting you ready for what's going to happen. The 5th episode is always the big episode, and the 6th is always the one where we get the teaser for what's coming next.
Mhm.
So it makes sense and is normal for it to feel like it's dragging because it is.
Like, if anything, I'm kind of looking forward to seeing if they're gonna bring out She-Hulk. That's gonna happen.
I don't know if She-Hulk is going to be the next one after this.
Let's focus on this one right now before we start going off the rails, because we do have another episode to talk about after this. So, is that all you have for thoughts on episode 2, Those Sheep?
For now, yes.
All right. No questions on anything?
I mean, I sent you that. I think it's kind of funny that no matter what, you're always going to have to be looking for Easter eggs.
Mm-hmm.
And I was actually curious about that QR code.
Oh,
It was
yeah,
a,
the
it was
QR
a
codes
free,
that are in each
yeah,
one.
yeah, it's a free issue of Moon Knight.
Moon Knight, yep.
I think if I remember correctly, I didn't go look it up, but if I remember correctly, the QR code in that one is when Dracula first gets introduced.
Yes. Yes, that's what it is. Whenever he's at Mark's secret hideout, essentially, the QR code that's right there. I believe it was like issue 17 or something like that.
Something like that. All right. Well, then, Ollie, what do you got for me? Episode 2.
So, episode 2, yeah, was a little bit draggy, but it still answered a lot as to who we are dealing with in terms of Moon Knight.
Mm-hmm.
And to the type of person that Steven is, and how Mark is more or less doing this for the better of someone else instead of himself.
Mm-hmm.
He's willing to do whatever it takes to make sure the person he cares about doesn't end up becoming the Avatar, essentially. And Steven doesn't understand this because it seems as though Steven has not been around that long, actually. It doesn't seem like to me Steven has been around as long as we think.
Right.
I feel like Steven has really only been around for like maybe 3 years or so.
Well, considering that I had to watch a little bit, but supposedly the passport that we see in the storage thing is actually after the blimp. So he didn't go with the
Yeah,
blimp,
no, he didn't go through the blimp.
but también with the personalities, though, they weren't personalities until after Kanju ended up, taking over Mark,
Mhm.
and that's where the fracture
Which
DID
is
comes in place.
which is where this parallels with the comics, because in the comics it is never really ascertained as to how Mark got the personalities, whether it was something he had since whenever he was a soldier in Nam, or whenever Khonshu first came in and Khonshu created the Steven personality just to torment Mark, to keep Mark on his toes so that Mark could be better, fulfill and be like a pawn, essentially. Be a better pawn for Khonshu himself. Which is where they've started feeding into this, which I think is pretty great. Because in episode 2, we finally see Mr. Knight. We finally get to see the Moon Knight that Steven has in the comics whenever Steven was a billionaire. We finally get to see a rich, if you want to say, Steven.
I'm not gonna lie, I really like that look.
The Mr. Knight is a nice
Mr.
look.
Knight.
Mr. Knight is a fun one, but I don't remember him being as
Important, no.
goofy.
Well, he's only goofy because Steven is goofy.
Because if I remember correctly, and I don't want to dive too much into it until we talk about episode 3, because I have a big reveal for episode 3 that I've figured out. But Mr. Knight, if I remember correctly, wasn't Steven's identity. Because remember, his consciousness was essentially split into 3 different people.
Yeah, you have Mark Spector, Stephen Grant, and then Stephen Grant's chauffeur.
Jake.
Yeah, it was like Jake Lockie.
Something like that.
Jake, I think it's Jake Locke, is all it is.
Mm-hmm. So,
which is Stephen Grant's chauffeur.
I liked the reveal of Mr. Knight. I like the whole Muhammad Ali reference that was thrown out with a twist. I love how Oscar Isaacs was able to portray just the pure confusion and awe when Steven meets Layla.
Yes.
Because that's how I would assume it would work, like with dissociative identity disorder, is the one person has their own life, but that doesn't take away from the feeling that you would have as an individual being.
Mm-hmm.
So, the fact that he gets the butterflies in his stomach, and you can tell he's in love with this woman, but doesn't understand why he's in love with this woman.
Mm-hmm. And slowly come to terms with who this person is and the type of relationship his other personality has with this person, and how he's essentially going to wingman for for himself and Mark at the same time.
And then that too, the whole I know you're my favorite art, was it poet?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That they're both the same, even though they've never met.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of feel like that was part of Mark subconsciously creating the personality of Steven, calling back to Layla. I feel like there's a part of Layla's own personality in Steven.
So what I think we can do for the rest of episode 2 is throw it in with episode 3, because as we get more towards the end of episode 2, everything kind of starts to tie in. All right.
But first, I have got to say, I told you, I love that part. I love that part in the when he's talking with Steven Arthur.
Mm-hmm.
And I was the fist of vengeance.
Oh yeah,
Fucking,
how he.
fucking made me think of Batman. I wonder if that's what he did it. Which
I
he
don't
could
know.
be the foot. He could be the foot of vengeance and still would be better than Batman.
I can't believe that you don't like that Batman, but that's a different podcast where we're gonna tear you apart there, sheep. All right, that's a different podcast. If you think about it, it makes sense. In every culture that has multiple gods, all right, there's tons of stories of other gods working with other gods to disrupt the balance. I mean, you see it a
Hell,
lot.
Horus works with Set once.
Huh?
Horus works with Set once
Mm-hmm.
to save the Nile.
If you look at Norse mythology, you see it all the time with Loki and some of the other gods. You see it a lot in Greek mythology.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is trying to fuck over Zeus, but Zeus usually brings it on himself. So
yeah, I mean, Zeus likes to put his dick in like every hole he could find. So there's that.
That is something I hope they bring into the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
What, the Greek gods?
Mm-hmm. Because I want to see. I don't know if you guys know this. We're going off the rails. I don't care. Here we go. So a lot of people, when they hear the Hulk, they just automatically assume that he's never been beaten in a fight, that he is untouchable. But one time, guys, Hulk met Zeus. All right, God of the gods, and a fight went down, and Hulk lost brutally lost. Zeus pretty much melted the skin off of his body. Damn near entirely. If it wasn't for Hulk's healing factor, he probably would have died in that fight.
Yeah, more than likely.
And damn.
And the funny thing is, in terms of raw combat power, Zeus isn't the most powerful.
No, Ares.
Yep, Ares is the most powerful in terms of raw combat ability.
Yeah, he's the god of war.
Mm-hmm.
But Zeus beat the fucking brakes off of our boy Hulk. Just fucking annihilated him. And I'd love to see Hercules in, because he was a member of the New Avengers. Alright. You never really saw Ares much in Marvel. Ares was more in DC with Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
But even then they switched it. Like Wonder Woman's dad at one time was Ares, and then it was Hades, and then it was Zeus. Like,
Zeus is the current one right now.
What's saying also too? Since we're going that back, also I just watched Shang-Chi recently too. The whole it's older than anything they've ever seen before. Seeing where that end up leading to. Besides the karaoke ending, they've got to include more, because this is just opening more doors, especially after Eternals, the mythology from them, then the Egyptians, the Greeks.
So I stated this when we talked about episode 1. In episode 1, there is a moment where Steven is trying to get as much information out of Mark as possible, and Mark brings up how he's got a vampire that owes him money. Brings up Dracula by name. By name brings up Dracula. So I really feel like Moon Knight is our official first push into the occult with Marvel.
I'm sorry, what was that? Our push to what?
Towards the occult. Spiritual stuff.
I think it is way more than what Morbius is. Like, yeah, Morbius was the first supernatural movie, but I think Moon Knight is going to be the spearhead for the push to the occult.
I'm waiting to find a cleaner version of Morbius before I watch it.
I've heard Morbius was not that good.
That's weird, because I keep seeing this where everyone's saying it's a garbage movie. I keep seeing the score on Rotten Tomato, and then I don't know if you guys have went and Googled how much money Morbius brought in at the box office, but it's astounding.
It's critically disclaimed, but financially it's good.
Like
Yeah.
to make that a bad movie doesn't make $81 million.
Hell.
It does not.
Wait. No, I was like it skipped there for a moment.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, a bad movie doesn't make $81 million.
Let me look it up. Let me look up and see how much it cost to make Morbius. First of all, that's the real tell of how well the movie did.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, if anything, obviously, well, since I've had to edit the videos and stuff, I've had to look at endings and stuff as well. Like for the Eternals, they brought Thanos' brother. We'll see something with the Eternals again, as well as we might see the Judge as a villain.
Not might, not a might.
oh,
Like
oh.
in the comics, the Celestials end up being one of the biggest villains anyone in the comics have to go up against.
Mhm. Oh, and then we also had I forgot the reveal character for Another Night. I can't remember him
Black Knight?
when he was about Black Knight
I don't
as
know
well.
just how much we'll see him.
As well as I've heard that voice he responds to is Blade talking.
No, it was confirmed that it was Blade.
Okay.
Yeah, that was confirmed. Blade.
Yeah, so I'm just like, ooh, vampires. I love Blade.
So, in honor of the Blade reveal, I went and I watched all 3 Blade movies.
Did they hold up?
You know, the third one did, the first one did, but the second one was just.
Yeah, the second one's pretty bad.
Yeah.
The second one's kind of mid.
And that's because recently too, I like to go through my news feed on Google to see what pops up. They said there was the third was the worst Blade movie ever, but it was getting like showing on Netflix. I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, because it's a cult classic now.
That and it was one of the first Ryan Reynolds movies.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
It was one of his first.
And it's honestly one of his better roles as well.
As well as they say, Blade was the first superhero movie to come out, which got us even more superhero movies.
Not really.
That's what they all say.
So the Flash has its own movie and TV series from back when Lou Ferrigno was playing the Hulk. All right, so we had the Hulk, we had Batman, we had the Flash, we had Captain America. There was one for Thor. Like,
yeah, a lot of the old live action movies for Thor are hilarious.
Here's the thing: what Blade brought in was modernization and higher, more adult ratings for. Essentially, it reopened the door and paved a new road. Is what happened.
More or less paved the way for more modern superhero movies. Is what it did. I wouldn't say it's per se the first superhero movie.
No,
but it paved the way for
because to call it the first is a disrespect to the attempts that the other fucking people tried to do.
Let's see. Back to Moon Knight. So we finally get to see the scope of the powers that Khonshu has through his avatar. He is literally able to change the night sky, which would be interesting to see how they expand upon that if Steven ends up relaying the message to Mark and Mark ends up saving Khonshu somehow, some way. I do not know. But it'll be interesting to see what they end up doing with the powers that Khonshu has over the night sky. Or just over the sky in general, because he does have the powers to do that. It's more or less powers of the moon, but it is really, really cool the way they do it, the way he uses it in the comics.
What confuses me is anyone that's an avatar of one of the gods, that god is still, like, present, not imprisoned. So how is it that Arthur is the avatar of a banished, essentially dead deity?
Are you talking about Arthur being the avatar of Ammit? Because he isn't.
That's what he calls himself in the show.
Well, he says he has the gift from the first avatar.
Yes. He doesn't
It just
explicitly say, I am the avatar of Ammit.
this cane has the power that she gifted to the first Avatar.
which
It's
was
just
then
a
gifted to
yeah.
me. Which in the third one, you finally realize that Khonshu used Arthur to try and find Ahmed, which is why Arthur is now trying to find Ahmed, but for his own reasons, not for Khonshu's. Which is why whenever, even though he probably should not have been there in the first place, which is why he says, I will continue and do what you cannot. But it's going to be for my reasons, not for yours. Essentially
I
saying
mean,
it's going to be a world of my own creating, which is something we see with a lot of villains. We see with a lot of villains, I'm going to take the world and remake it in my image.
yeah, because obviously Kanju believes that they're bad after they've done the deed, but Ahmed believes, well, has seen past, present, and future, and knows what you're going to do, so might as well cut you out now, not deal with you later.
Which we bring up the classic conundrum in episode 2. What about a baby?
Well,
What if a baby comes before Ahmed, and the baby turns out to not fill what Ahmed's vision is for the world?
The Hitler baby.
Exactly. So the good old Hitler baby paradox. If you
what
could
the
go back to
hell?
time and hey Kelby, how's it going?
I
Welcome
I
in.
heard
You're late.
I heard Hitler baby paradox.
Yeah, there
I
is.
got your attention.
So how it goes
Yeah.
is if you had the ability to go back in time and kill Hitler
When
before
he was a child.
yeah, before he ever became the fucking monster that he becomes, would you do it and would you be justified in going and killing him as a baby?
Or you go back in time, find Hitler the baby, and then raise him to be a good man.
It's still either
But
way,
that
you
brings
are
into play the
destroying
destiny
current-
paradox, okay?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because in doing that, if you go by the whole destiny paradox, nothing you can do will change the outcome of him becoming a genocidal freak.
Unless we look at it in the sense that this is a different universe. So there's the Hitler of our universe, which is bad. This is the Hitler from a different universe who is destined to do that. Holy fuck, that was loud.
Yes. But you see, the thing about paradoxes is, Kelby, the instant you start talking about one paradox, you move into a next paradox and the next, and you just keep going until
Take the
you
reins for a bit,
finally,
guys. I'm gonna be
Okay.
I'm gonna be a minute.
yeah, until you eventually wind up back in the original paradox you're in, and you just start the cycle all over. Because what you're talking about, so first we're talking about the Hitler paradox, then we're onto the Destiny paradox, and now you're into the multiverse paradox. From there, we'll then go into the butterfly paradox, back to the Hitler paradox. I know how this works because it's the same cycle over and over again.
Okay, so what you're saying is the Hitler paradox is a paradox in itself.
Yes, that is.
Like
the
you're just
same
gonna end
thing.
up pretty much killing yourself to saving Hitler to just save yourself the time.
That's the thing about paradoxes. You could sit here and talk until we're all blue in the face over what's gonna happen or whatever. But in reality is we don't really know. What I can tell you though is that if you do happen to find some way to go back in time to when Hitler was a child, whether you go up and raise him differently than the way he was raised, whether you actually get him into art school or not, or whether you end up straight up killing him right as he's a baby, the current present that we are in now will cease to exist.
Right.
You can go back in time, kill Hitler, and if you go back to 2022 right now, it'll be a completely different 2022 than the one you left.
Yeah,
Now,
it'd
what
be like the
about
whole. It's like the whole. What is that series? Command and Conquer.
What?
Like, yeah, like Command and Conquer. There's a version of it where the Russians go back and they get rid of Einstein,
Oh yeah.
and they alter time itself. That the Japanese end up becoming like having mechs and all that shit.
You're talking about the Command and Conquer lore. I thought you were.
No, I know, but I'm just stating like with the whole
Yeah.
with the whole paradox thing. Like you
Mhm.
create more problems than you realize.
Which is something that in Endgame, what's his name, the current Sorcerer Supreme before Steven, before Doctor Strange, said. You take
Yeah, he was.
you take the gems away, and you instantly create a split in the timeline that is going to go on, and that'll become your current present. Never to see the present that you needed again. just something the time police fought against. They were trying to keep everything on the straight and narrow, trying to keep everything from the timeline from splitting and create a multiverse.
Which also goes with the whole paradox thing because they want the straight path.
Yeah, they both saw the past, present, and future and judged you based on that, which is the same way that Amit does.
Mm-hmm.
Is this we're on episode?
Hmm?
Which podcast is this supposed to be?
Okay, well, we already went through 2 and 3, so but I mean, you can.
Yeah, you can touch up or
Well,
ask whatever questions
wait,
you have about whichever one.
3 didn't come out till today, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we already
Oh,
watched
I
it.
haven't even. I haven't had to watch it yet. I've been at work.
Yeah, we already watched it.
That's a good thing I missed it then. I can put it on right now. How about that?
Yeah, go for it. But yeah, I mean, talking about the whole time thing, it's you still kind of need like it's the lesser of two evils because either way, the whole genocide of that ends up reinforcing our history now. If we change that, but people don't learn from what not to do.
Yeah. Who's to say if we go back in time and kill Hitler, there's not going to be someone who ends up being worse than Hitler and actually succeeding in what Hitler planned?
Or if anything, if you try to change it, maybe he gets like he realizes he's from there and then still be like, I've got to do something. I have to go back, mentality. So it really changes nothing.
What if we save Hitler? So you go back in time, and you
Okay.
save him to be a better person, and
Okay.
then he grows up and then goes back in time and changes his past and makes the Hitler who is bad. So in the end, we created the bad Hitler. Na, 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 na.
In the end, this is still paradox, and talking about it is pointless.
It's just going in a circle.
As long as you're not going to go into the chilling adventures of Sabrina paradox, then we're fine. Yeah, what, 2 Hitlers?
Yeah.
Oh.
Shit.
It's the duplication paradox.
Ugh.
Oh man. What to talk
Now,
about now since we can't talk about episode 3?
what if you did something subtle to Hitler? Like he didn't kill him, he didn't raise him or anything. He just went up to
We're still on the
Hitler
butterfly effect here.
and then gave him like a high five. Like, I don't know.
Kilby,
He's
have
up
you not
his
seen the
pen
butterfly effect
and
with
you give it
Ashton
to him.
Kutcher?
No, I've not seen the butterfly effect with Ashton Kutcher.
You should watch it.
Go back to times, kill a butterfly, and your future is going to be so much more different. That's essentially what it gets
Oh,
to.
the time machine?
Yeah.
They end up killing that butterfly that was like giving birth to reptilians, no sé qué. I'm like, how the fuck do you jump from that?
Yeah, the possibilities are endless. And we could talk about each and every possibility, but it is endless. There are infinite possibilities as to what can happen after we do whatever the hell it is we do in the past. Which is why the consequences and effects of time travel are so daunting, even though everybody wants to try and find some way to go into the past.
Ironically enough, I don't know why, but the episode from Futurama comes to mind of when they go back in time and that his grandfather is actually himself.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You are your own grandfather?
That's a great episode.
Or
Now,
even
what
that
if?
whole time that for Stephen Hawking's 43rd birthday or something like that, he had a party and then sent out the invitations for the party a day later, so that if any of his friends had been time travelers, they would have been there for the party.
Ay, Dios mío.
What if Hitler goes into the future and kills you because you plan on going into the past and killing?
Well, first of all,
First
there
of
was
all,
that.
if it were to happen, it would already happened.
Yes, exactly.
Oh,
We're just turning this podcast into a whole bunch of
just what
paradox
if?
talk while we're waiting for Mitty to get back.
I was gonna say it's a what if
Typical
episode essentially.
It's a typical mini podcast. That's what it is.
I was gonna say, well, they need to bring out more what if episodes.
I've heard they are actually doing a season 2, supposedly.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be
Right.
nice. They almost broke the multiverse last time. What can I do now?
Yeah, I know.
Probably leads into the multiverse of madness again.
Possibly.
Probably has some sort of link, I'm assuming.
So tell me, do you have any questions on episode 2
Episode 2.
or thoughts?
Yeah, after he becomes Moon Knight.
Okay, yeah. Hold on. Wait, I don't want to get this crossed here. Yes, 2 is where he becomes. Okay, yeah. No questions, but I like that when he became Moon Knight, he had like a little suit instead.
Oh, Mr. Knight.
I absolutely love that part.
I like that too, especially when he gets his balance and he's like, oh shit.
I like the idea of the not superhero version of himself trying to be a superhero, the failing.
Yes.
And I think it's great. I think the actor does a great job of portraying both sides as well.
Yes, he does an amazing job portraying both Mark and Steven.
And you really feel like those are two different people because they are same actor. So I mean,
So Mity,
well done.
we have an issue.
What's the issue? Hey, Nish.
Toby hasn't seen episode 3 yet.
No, it came out today, and I was at work.
No. Oh.
I'm watching it as we speak, though, so that's pretty cool.
What's up, Nish?
Well, here's also the thing I still want to add to this because we're okay. So far from episode 1, we've watched everything through Steven's eyes, but I'm still kind of like, is it all in his mind still? Like, are we still seeing the actual reality of things, or is just his mind messing with him? Another question I was having in the back of my head.
I don't know, but we're gonna put all the Moon Knight stuff on hold now, then, and we're gonna have to redo.
Well, we can go up to 2. You just can't do 3.
We're gonna have to redo the stuff for episode 3. This is becoming a thing.
Oh, what do you want me to do, man? There's nothing I can do about this one.
Hey, Phantom, what's up? No, it's all.
I checked last night and like, oh, it's not up yet. Well, I can't fucking watch it.
Yeah, it's up at 12:01 in the morning.
Well, I can't afford to do that.
I watched it during work.
I didn't watch it till this morning.
I didn't watch it till like 3 in the afternoon, so.
I watched it during work.
I know this.
If we had Wi-Fi.
Is this podcast on Spotify? No, it is not. Should we attempt to get him put up on Spotify?
I would say it is.
I can listen to it.
I think we'd have to purchase something like that.
Will you look into it and let me know?
Yeah.
Phantom.
Yeah, we'll have the video here and then
Why would you
the
even do that?
audio over there.
Is this not legit enough for you guys? Really? Really?
Hey, you never know. People like to listen to podcasts on those things.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, so I do have a question.
Okay, what?
I do have a question as I'm watching this. Does he have his powers when he's not in the suit, or is it only when he's in the suit?
I believe it's mainly when he's wearing the suit.
Yeah.
Because that's how Khonshu channels his powers.
So that means he is skilled by himself.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I'm watching the fight scene with the knife and all that.
Yeah, no.
Yes.
So Mark Spector is a mercenary, formerly worked with the CIA. And he left the CIA, went and did his own gig as a mercenary. So he is tried and true, battle-tested soldier. So
I like it.
Sort of the same thing that Deadpool did, but didn't go so far as Deadpool has. I should say.
I was like, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not too concerned of him dying, just because I've read he has come back by Khonshu's powers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Khonshu can keep him alive.
Yeah, so I'm not concerned with him dying. So there, kind of takes it out of me for a bit. But I'm just looking for the story, see how it goes.
Cat, get the fuck out of here! Give me a minute.
I can't say
I
anything.
swear, fuck God. trying to fucking focus and you're gonna do your bullshit.
Oh, he's even wearing the harness. What do you mean, go away? Oh shit, my back.
Hey Nish, how you doing? Welcome in. All right. So.
Another
love that-
question to come up is that he's been doing this for all these years, and Steven hasn't noticed ever. So why is it only now he's starting to slip?
Want to take this Mity, or do you want me to?
You can go for it. I'm trying to get my head back in this.
So essentially, what it is Steven hasn't been around all of Mark's life. Is the thing.
Okay.
Like, Mark and Steven have not met ever until now.
Okay.
And honestly, don't think that Steven has been around for maybe about a few years at most. And I feel like whenever Steven did first show up, Mark knew about it, and Mark decided to do his best to make sure that he kept the personalities separate. Which is why it is only just now that Steven is figuring out about Mark and the avatars and all of this.
Yeah, because like I stated before, with the whole perception of Steven, like the fact is, there's also a lot of reflections they seem to use with the upside down mirrors and him talking through mirrors. Like when he first also encounters Layla, he's primarily talking to her with the mirror in our view.
Yes, and Mark telling him that he is not doing the right thing here.
So it's just and then that in episode 2 where he finds the storage but everything's dulled out except the gun, and he's talking through the gun to Steve. So just, kind of an importance of mirrors and reflections and shit. I'm vengeance.
But yeah, I really don't think that Steven has been around all that long. Maybe for like as long
Steven
as
hasn't
5
been
years.
around long?
Steven hasn't been around long. Steven has the personality.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, because in the comics, no one really knows when Steven or whenever Mark first started getting the personalities, because it happens after he becomes Moon Knight. So people are unsure whether it happened thanks to his experiences whenever he was at war, or if it is thanks to the meddling of Khonshu trying to break him to keep him as a pawn.
And honestly, I'm still confused as like how Moon Knight plays into this next phase with Marvel, because in the comics he's part of a team, but the team that he joins isn't really significant in the grand scheme of things. If it boil it down, like Moon Knight's more of like a D-list hero.
Yeah.
Put him on the same level as, say, Green Arrow from DC.
Hey, Green Arrow killed the zombified Aquaman, okay? Leave him alone.
I'm just saying. Like, that's the level we're looking at here.
He shot an arrow half a mile through the sea storm, through waves and shit, to shoot the zombified Aquaman through the eye.
Okay, again, that doesn't change the fact that he's like a D-list hero.
I know, I'm just like messing with you. And also like that whenever he's going on about that in that comic, he's like, screw you, Batman.
Damn, my face.
Because Batman never wrote him off as dangerous.
I would like to see a full-on actual fight scene with Mr. Knight.
That would be joyful.
Holy shit, dude, and it's here.
Tell your woman to watch her fucking mouth.
No, it's hot out here. Oh, outside and here.
Oh, wow, surprising. You're in Texas and it's hot. Wow.
Who's Mr. Knight?
Mr. Knight is the suited up Moon Knight. The guy
Oh,
with the
okay.
suit.
Oh,
That was my
yeah.
guess.
Do you remember that like tuxedo looking guy,
Mhm.
like very fresh looking in episode 2, where he hits his
Yeah,
head?
yeah.
That's Mr. Knight.
Awesome. I like Mr. Knight.
I do too.
While Moon Knight is the more mercenary, I'm gonna beat your ass up type of Moon Knight persona. Mr. Knight is more like a mafia boss in a way.
Mhm. Well, Hulk, fuck you.
Wow, Hulk.
I lost. Dios mío. For the 4 of us.
Not Kobe's not paying attention to the chat.
Okay, so it was a triple kill on that point.
Yeah, it's a triple kill.
But yeah, I mean, shit, I don't know what direction they're going, because again, we've got all the... ¿Qué pasó?
Yeah, it is going to be interesting to see how this is going to feed into the rest of
I'll be right back.
phases. Phase 4 into the rest of Phase 4.
Mm-hmm.
I have an unrelated question.
Okay.
If you kill a man with multiple personality disorder, is it considered homicide?
Yes, it is actually.
Is it really?
Mhm.
How
I
would
believe
you know?
so, right, Mity?
What?
If you kill someone with split personality disorder, it's homicide.
Yeah, you're still killing a human being. Where it gets confusing is where if you have multiple personality disorder and one of your personalities kills someone, how do you classify that? Because the way that it would work, that personality has its own thoughts and feelings and morality. All right. So,
Mhm.
and a lot of the time, when one personality is doing something, the rest of the body is like the rest of the personalities are shut off to what that one is doing.
Yeah.
So you could say you as Moon Knight go kill someone. The Mr. Knight version of you wouldn't know what you did, or
Mhm.
why you did it, or what your motivation behind was it.
Which is why Split was actually a really, really good movie in my mind.
Oh, like I was telling him, I don't know if you heard the first podcast, but the first episode made me think of The Identity. That's what it's called, the movie,
Mm-hmm.
where they're all
I,
all born on the same day, different years of personalities, and the little kid's the actual killer.
I haven't seen that one. I know Split though with what's his name, the
Yeah, M. Night Shyamalan.
Professor.
James
Yeah,
McAvoy.
Yeah. Where he has like the 6 different personalities. One is a woman, one's a little kid, one's an
Do you
adult.
guys know what the most recorded personalities in a single case of dissociative identity disorder is?
You told me,
think
but I
it's a
don't
Like
very
remember.
high
32,
number.
37?
It's in the hundreds.
Oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
104.
I think it's higher than that. I think it's like one. Don't quote me, but I think it's like 120 or 130.
I'm quoting.
Don't
That's
do
insane.
that.
I don't want to deny. I think I've encountered at least one person with DID, just
Yeah, I do.
because
You're bad.
when I worked at the hospital at one point
Oh, yeah.
in 2016, the girl I had to watch supposedly had personality disorder. I'm like, oh shit. And they left me alone in the dark with her.
You'd have been fine.
With who?
You would have been fine.
Mrs. Sheep here's her. Excuse me, bitch.
That
Who is
one
her?
crazy girl in the hospital. I can't say because I'm streaming. And I used to work the first time at the hospital.
I know a guy with dissociative identity disorder. Would you guys like me to talk to him and see if he's okay with
That's the
coming
second
on
hospital.
stream and telling his story?
That's entirely up to you, but it'd be an
Yeah.
interesting. It'd be a pretty cool interview, I think.
I can talk to him and see if he wants to come in and chat about it.
But I do have a few questions about it.
Okay, yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it on. Yeah, supposedly.
Dude, I don't know how the fuck I always do this to myself, and like I can't fucking see.
Okay, so
Well, put on some glasses then.
she took off her glasses to wash her face, and her nose ring came out or fell.
Ay, Dios mío. It's probably in the sink.
No, I already got it for her.
Oh, okay.
That's why I left for a bit. But so what were we talking about?
Oh, I know someone who has dissociative identity disorder. And if you guys would find it interesting, I can talk to him and see if he's comfortable coming onto a podcast and talking about it.
Yeah,
I would be
I don't
very
mind.
interested.
So I will. I'll have to set up a lunch with him then.
I mean, I'm down to always hear the crazy stories. I enjoyed my last job, just it didn't pay well.
Well, you're working for the state. That's your problem.
I'm getting paid a little more now.
You're working for the state. You can't sit there and look me straight in the eyes and tell me you're doing just fine.
It depends on what section.
Ew.
If you want to make money working for the state, you go private sector.
Yeah, I know, but I got jack shit other than being an apprentice electrician. You got it in?
Yeah, but it just looks really
This
gross.
sucks because there's so much fun to talk about the third episode that I can't because Kelby's watching it.
I know. I'm all right.
I know the third one's a big one. The third, we'll just have to revisit
is.
it. Is all. We'll just have to revisit it.
Like,
Okay.
I mean, we're here. We have the time. Do we take a dip into Halo?
No,
You're not ready for that?
no, we're gonna save that for Friday whenever we're ready to tear each other's heads off. I don't feel like doing that today.
Did you guys talk about it last time or what?
No, we did not talk about it last time. We had to reschedule.
Oh, that's the one where the Mity had an issue.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Damn, technical issues.
Well, it wasn't. Yeah, Mity was having technical issues, and Ollie was dealing with a very sick puppy who was at the hospital.
Is that puppy recovered?
Yes, we finally got him to eat this morning, so
That's good.
we're good. We're just waiting to see how his poop looks like, and then we'll be good.
Yeah, that's a rough one, and like really, actually incredible that you caught it in time.
Well, what?
I mean, he's back home now. We're having him quarantined for about 10 days.
I would do that. Yeah, Parvo's not one to fuck around with.
So right now he's in my dad's bathroom while Milo is in the living room.
Like I said, we didn't catch it in time with one of my ex's puppies, and like 3 days in, like he wasn't moving. Like to get him to go to the bathroom, we had to pick him up and put him outside, and we just thought maybe like he was really sick, like flu or something. And by day 4, he was dead.
And what is this?
Parvo.
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 Mm-hmm.
It's a bacteria that is lethal to all animals, especially
Transferred through feces.
Yep, especially so through dogs.
Okay.
So yeah, we're constantly making sure that the poops that Milo has are solid and stuff to make sure he's not getting sick or anything. We're also making sure to like bleach everything.
So he doesn't catch it again.
Yeah, because what we think might have happened is that Milo had Parvo at the pound. It was just getting over it whenever we brought Milo home with us. And then Shiloh might have caught it from Milo as he was just getting over it.
Very well could. I mean, unless any of
Let's
the
say
humans
that's,
coming in and out of
straight
the
one.
apartment had
Yeah.
stepped in any kind of like animal feces or just dirt that had it.
I mean, I can barely see it.
So
do you like it better?
I mean, when you turn, I do see it. So I mean, I do
He's
like it.
a lot more energetic now. He's a lot more alert. He's finally eating
and
his
once,
food.
once they get vaccinated for it, you
Hey,
just
try the
it's
little one for now.
next to
Try the little
impossible
one
to
for
get it
now.
again.
That was the thing too. I think was we were just about to finish his vaccines for Parvo.
All right. Well, then, since we've kind of touched on episode 1, we've touched on episode 2. Are there any more questions about episode 2, Kelby?
Let me think.
Fly like a little butterfly, sting like a bee.
My name is Steven with a V.
Nothing really coming to mind there. That one's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then this is what we're going to do. I am
Wait.
going to be in a party chat tonight on the PlayStation, guys, and I'll be fucking around probably on Modern Warfare.
I'll be probably joining later. For the
I was
morning
gonna say,
and go hang out with Pop.
custom games.
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to raid. I want everybody to not leave. Hang out here in the raid